Foreign nationals can live and work in Europe for an unlimited period of time by obtaining permanent residency, which relieves them of the burden of having to renew their temporary visas or permits. Long-term stability and the benefits of residing abroad are provided by this status without requiring full citizenship. Obtaining a blue card or permanent residence in Europe is sometimes seen as a first step toward ultimate citizenship. Different countries may have different qualifying standards for permanent residence in Europe. However, standard requirements include a 5 to 10 year resident duration, the need to keep a current visa or residence card, any necessary language skills, no criminal record, and proof of financial stability. The minimum residency requirement for non-EU nationals is being considered by the European Union to be lowered from 5 years to 3. In order to fulfill the 3-year requirement, individuals may also aggregate their residence times across many EU member states. They are prohibited from leaving the host nation during this time, either for a total of 10 months over the course of the 5 years or for more than 6 months in any 1 year. Once attained, citizens would not have any limitations on their ability to migrate to another member state for employment. This status is proposed to be extended to their offspring. These modifications, though, are anticipated to be completed by February 2024 and are awaiting approval by EU member states. There are several paths one might take to obtain permanent residency in Europe. The easiest way is to get married to a European citizen, as long as the marriage is real and not just for residency. Permanent residency is a possibility in certain nations, provided certain conditions are met, including employment opportunities. A viable choice if your business succeeds and creates jobs is entrepreneurship. Studying in Europe and completing different study lengths depending on the country can result in permanent residency. Retirees who have reached retirement age and financial freedom may also consider obtaining a retirement visa in Europe as a means of relocating. In today's video, we will talk about the 12 European countries offering permanent residency. So, make sure to watch the video till the end, and if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon, so you won't miss any future videos we upload. Number 12. Albania. Fragamen reports that the unique permit allows citizens of the European Union, the United States and Western Balkan countries, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, Kosovo, North Macedonia and Serbia, to reside in Albania for a maximum of 5 years. As opposed to this, the prior rule only permitted them to apply for a 1-year residence permit, which they could extend for an additional 2 years each time they visited. They can then apply for an Albanian permanent residence permit after this 5-year period. Moreover, the certificate of exemption, which was previously necessary for certain nations, will be replaced by the unique permit. Those who worked for up to 90 days within a 180-day period were excluded from the work permit requirement thanks to this certificate. Current exemption certificates will continue to be valid until the date indicated on them. Number 11. Czechia. Obtaining permanent resident status in Czechia grants citizens access to the nation's social benefits and healthcare system, as well as the ability to live and work there indefinitely. Foreign individuals must successfully complete an A2 level language test in order to demonstrate a rudimentary level of competency in the Czech language in order to begin the application procedure for permanent residency. Applications must be filed in person at the Ministry of the Interior office that corresponds to the registered place of residence. Original or certified copies of all required documentation must be included. These include a passport, proof of lodging, evidence of sufficient funds to support the country of residence, and a recent photo. Number 10. Romania. Romania is one of the easiest nations in Europe to obtain permanent residency without investment, making it a profitable option for anyone looking to live there permanently. Typically, the procedure requires proof of stable finances, a spotless criminal history, and an uninterrupted legal presence in Romania for a predetermined amount of time. Permanent residency is a desirable option for both investors and expats because it gives them access to the nation's first-rate healthcare and educational systems. Number 9. Iceland. Permanent resident licenses offer chances for long-term residency in Iceland. There are two main ways to become a permanent resident of Iceland: family reunification, which is open to relatives of Icelandic citizens or permanent residents, and work and residence permits, which need about 4 years of continuous employment in Iceland. Number 8. Slovenia. Foreign nationals who have lived continuously in Slovenia for 5 years are entitled to apply for a permanent residence permit in order to obtain permanent residency in Slovenia. Once issued, this permit has a 10-year expiration date and may be renewed again. To be eligible for a permanent residence permit, you need to meet certain requirements. These include having a valid reason for moving to Slovenia, including having a work permit or a student visa. Alternatively, there are alternative ways to obtain permanent residency, such as being of Slovenian descent, receiving refugee status, or being related to a foreign citizen who is in possession of a permanent residence permit or refugee status. Number 7. Hungary. For talented workers and their families, Hungary provides work visas that grant permanent residency, enabling them to live and work there. For the purpose of rejoining with immediate family members who are already citizens or residents, family reunion programs are also offered. Number 6. Italy. Those with work visas can become permanent residents of Italy, and family reunion programs frequently allow family members to join them, creating a sense of community and solidarity. The nation comes in at number 6 on our list, since it is simple to award permanent residence in Europe without requiring investment. Number 5. Norway. The requirements for obtaining a permanent residence permit in Norway are different for those who are not European Union (EU) or European Economic Area (EEA) citizens, and for those who meet the requirements. After residing in Norway for at least 5 years, EU EEA nationals and their family members may apply for permanent residency. However, non-EU nationals need to have had valid residence permits in Norway for a minimum of 3 years. In addition to meeting the residency requirements, those who are between the ages of 16 and 64 who wish to apply for permanent residency must also pass an exam in social studies and the Norwegian language. Number 4. Estonia. A non-EU, non-EEA, or Swiss national may apply for a temporary residence permit, which will take 2 to 3 months to process if they want to stay in Estonia for a longer period of time than a year. For a maximum of 5 years, this visa allows the applicant to work, study, and dwell in Estonia. Following that time, the applicant may choose to extend their stay or seek for permanent residency. The applicant must fulfill certain requirements in order to be eligible for permanent residency in Estonia. These requirements include holding a valid temporary residence permit, living in Estonia for 5 years while residing there, having legal income in Estonia, proving that the applicant is knowledgeable about Estonian culture and language, at least to a B1 level, and making sure the applicant's address is listed in the Population Register of Estonia. Number 3. Sweden. After living in Sweden for a predetermined amount of time, an applicant who currently has a residence permit may apply for a permanent residence visa. Depending on the circumstances of the application, the time requirement may change, although it usually lasts at least 4 years. The applicant must also be able to maintain their financial stability and pursue a disciplined life. Number 2. Portugal. To be eligible for permanent residency, non-European immigrants must first get a temporary residence visa in Portugal and dwell there continuously for 5 years. If they fulfill certain requirements, like having a place of abode in Portugal, being financially stable, and speaking at least a basic level of Portuguese, this permission permits them to live and work in Portugal indefinitely. They can seek for permanent residency after 5 years, and they can even think about getting Portuguese citizenship at that point. Number 1. Finland. Finland requires that a person who holds a permit or continuous residence permit be in the nation for 4 years in order to be eligible for permanent residency. This means that candidates must apply for an extension before their current permit expires in order to fulfill the criteria of retaining a continuous residence permit for the whole 4-year period. In addition, candidates must have spent at least 2 years living in Finland within the previous 4 years. This brings us to the end of this video. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing and sharing so we can keep bringing more content like this.